looking at a piece of Indonesian batik, which has been printed in a pattern. Pattern is one of the principles of design that some artists use. Architects use it a great deal, but painters also use it, and many designers do. Pattern is repeated elements of design. Any of the elements of design can be used. Line, texture, shape, color. The pattern on the outside is it's repeated around the edge. That's a border pattern. This little piece has also got pattern in it, repeated constantly from one part to another, over and over and over and over again. Make a regular pattern. This is a regular pattern on the outside. Patterns can be both regular and irregular, but these are all regular patterns that are woven into that cloth. Wallpaper also has a pattern. Look at the repeated elements that keep repeating all the time. The repeated lines, repeated textures, and since they're repeated on regular intervals, we call this regular pattern. You can find pattern in nature also, both regular and irregular. When you cut into a piece of fruit like this grapefruit, you can find regular pattern. Those segments are repeated again and again all the way around this circular design. Here we have a rock that has holes in it. The holes make a pattern in the rock. Those patterns are irregular. They're not in a regular sequence. I'm just experimenting a little bit here. This is just an eraser that I'm printing. Printing is very probably the best way to show repeat patterns because you can repeat exactly the same shape again and again, but I can make it irregular. Here's the same shape repeated, but it becomes irregular as far as the pattern is concerned. If we want to make regular patterns, then we have to lay out a design on a piece of paper that is in a regular pattern. If I take this angel and print it, and put it in one of these spots, and print it again here, and print it again here. See, I can work it like this. This is called a drop pattern when they don't show up right directly below, one below the other, but drop down and move over to the side. That's called a drop pattern. And that's where you see a lot of wallpaper is made that way. So you just would alternate squares that way and build up a regular pattern. I can also take those same things and make irregular patterns with them. I can use the angel, make an irregular pattern by putting the angel there and putting it there. You see, I can just make an irregular pattern. The angel is repeated, the element is repeated, but it's repeated in an irregular way. Making pattern here in three-dimensional pattern, actually, making it in a piece of clay. Pattern in clay is fun to make. See, this is a regular pattern being repeated, just one mark after another. I can use other kinds of tools, make other kinds of patterns. See, this will make a different kind of pattern. As long as I can repeat those like a brick pattern. See, I could do them this way, like a drop pattern, one alternating with the other one as it goes along here. So you have different kinds of pattern, but the pattern is the thing that makes the surface of a clay body interesting, or it makes the surface of your painting interesting also. People who work with quilts also have to use pattern continually. If an architect designs the front of the building, he wants the pattern on the front of the building to make that facade of the building more interesting. We look at Paul Klee's painting. Paul Klee's painting also has pattern. Those repeated squares make pattern, like a checkerboard almost, but because of the way Paul Klee put them together, it certainly is not monotonous.